mama salute. Now we all come together as well. For tomorrow, now we go make salute. Anytime where you there, it no matter. Sky where you be, it no matter. Anything you they do, it no matter. Oh yeah, it no matter. Now we putting up stronger one inside Sierra Leone, like a big quantity. Where breeze not a shade. TPP TV, Talking Points platform. Then they give you information about salute.
Yes, family, now welcome back to yet another very interesting segment where they come through the Talking Point platform. Today, now the 24th of April 2021, my name now Mohamed Kago. The program now a very interesting one where we can try to scrutinize Parliament better one. But the reason why we decide for bring camp this, because first and foremost, we want for let people to understand, say Parliament is created by the Constitution of Salon for make it perform, among other reasons, one, for represent the people. Secondly, for make law or on make laws and for we. And thirdly, for all the executive arm of government accountable for action or inaction. Among them points here, you go agree with me, say the role of Parliament is highly indispensable when it comes to good governance. But over the years, we don't see, say, the very Parliament we're supposed for do the thing we just name, then they go against everything where they stand for. We beg the question in we flyer, if the parliamentarians are they the enemies of the people? Now, with this short segment what we get for all they present to now we can see some evidence there. In fact, forget about what I say. DFID, we sponsor one corruption survey in 2019 to 2020, then described Salon Parliament as the second most corrupt institution after the police. You can imagine. Then win award. So these are just one of the accolades, the award, the negative award where this Parliament gets. But now, as if all these international bad award would already receive, you know what I mean? Now then they believe that they count gangsterism in Parliament, broad daylight and the facts, picking and they watch, people and they watch, what a disgrace. Now, as usual, for talk this talk better, I have with me colleague, Dr. Alpha, you'll greet people before we proceed to the subject matter.
Yeah, Fambulem una Kushen Kabo and welcome as usual to Talking Points platform.
All right, Fambulem, first and foremost, we're highly disappointed the role of Parliament, the actions they wouldn't take, where they're not just only disgrace alone, they don't very self, but then disgrace the country as a whole. And this all boils down to corruption, allegation, clan-based thinking, tribalism, party politics, all of these combined. In fact, what will lead to this? Now, a chronic, systematic way for suppress and destroy the nation. The corruption whether inside Parliament is so embedded that it even stink. Even the parliamentarians themselves, they come out outrightly and define to themselves, expose themselves clearly without even wanting for backside. Now, forget about me. I want to follow we go into history. We come back so that we don't understand, let people understand really the role of Parliament and how they don't destroy the country at a point that we decide for name them. Maybe if it follow describe them for be like enemies of the people. Now, one notable, honorable, when our Tawa defined for we in history all this nonsense and sort of corruption take place. Now we bring Kantawa quickly. Now we understand the history of corruption in the parliament, and from there we come to another segment related to this very important one.
Let me lay a context for this discussion on parliament and parliamentary history on corruption.
Go ahead.
It was not first made by the Honorable Ibrahim Tawa Conte. It was well documented, detailed, clearly inscribed in the SLPP manifesto. The manifesto that I believed in, the manifesto that brought us to governance, and it was clear about parliamentary functions and parliamentary complacency in aiding and abating corruption in Sierra Leone. These were some of the comments. Let me just read them quickly. On page 57, it says at the core is the absence of political will, reflected in the inability of Parliament to scrutinize the public accounts audit submitted to it by the Audit Service Sierra Leone. It went further to state that Parliament oversight is completely moribund, entrenching a culture of impunity for corrupt practice. That is not me.
Right. That
was the SLP manifesto. On page 58 and 59, the manifesto also spoke to this issue. It said to ensure full implementation of all, it said in the fight against corruption, it will leave no stone unturned. In that regard, however, the new direction promised to ensure full implementation of all audit recommendations in annual audits of the Audit Service, Sierra Leone, and of ministries, departments, and agencies. And on page 62, it states that weak expenditure management, poor accountability, and ineffective parliamentary oversight. For example, the report of the Auditor General and Anti-Corruption Commission, amongst many others, have hardly been acted upon. So even before the Honorable Tawa coming to Parliament, there was this glowing analysis on parliamentary inability to perform.
Okay, family. What are you take, Doctor, regarding the brilliant systematic analysis, give historical evidence of the massive scale of corruption in general? What are you take?
Well, I mean, this is really disheartening, as I can always say, for waiting to go on a parliament, and also you earlier allude to the point, say, UNESCO, some organizations, and even CARL, as civil society organizations, be non-come and show say parliament now the second most corrupt place in Sierra Leonean institutions according to popular opinions. And now we even don't get cases of parliamentarians. This case, in the case of Tawa and Honorable Gevao have been don't come, although later a backtrack due to some coercion. So it very, very much disheartening for see people who we expect say we vote for, we elect. I mean, for represent we, as you opening statement show the functions of parliament, they act otherwise, making always say a lot of the parliamentarians then did it for two things. For two waiting and political party says, and want them for do, and for their own selfish reason. And more often we see they neglect the people them, and they put party business or selfish interest before. And we see the kind of rancor can happen where they not can get their way, and inside parliament for their own selfish or party gains. Because I believe say if them people are actually get at heart the Sierra Leonean people, they will always find way for cooperate and compromise and pass laws or do the necessary checks and balances with regards to the central government. But from we small, we don't big, we hardly say parliament scrutinize that audit report, the parliamentary account committee, and find people in one thing. Less often it happen, you know. We hardly see where parliament they really put checks and balances to the central government irrespective of party lines. But we see say if one government they in a power, then always they use the parliamentary majority. We most likely they can get for bulldoze their way and enact whatever bills or laws or do whatever things them then get for do. So a very, very much disheartening and shameful all at the same time.
All right, thank you very much. So, Fambule, the issue was around Parliament, where they can try for put on to step by step. This is not one area where clearly even the parliamentarians within themselves admit, openly say, there is massive corruption. Now listen to the clerk of parliament himself. When Honorable Parent.
Back to you, Honorable Parantawali, Clerk of Parliament. You don't listen to the statistics and figure them where Honorable Tawagi and the different allocation with Ministry of Finance on the give you as the Clerk of Parliament for one parliament. And he say from where they go to parliament, they not ever go oversight. But allocation day for parliamentary oversight.
You know, I don't tell you, in parliament you get very serious honorable members, then you get not too serious honorable members. The very serious honorable members, they ask questions and get their facts right. The not too serious honorable members, they wallow in rumors and waiting and feel. And one such person are the Honorable Tawa Conte. A very unfortunate, there are so many things we are not be able to discuss over radio, but I will discuss. Except for 2019, government, Ministry of Finance don't give you 20.9 billion. Me fumble then wrong, then don't give you 25 billion. I don't tell you say not sabi figures, not to 20, then don't give you 25 billion. And out of that 25 billion, 19 billion don't go direct to MPs. So members of parliament, Mifambu na Sierra Leone, out of the 25 billion, where government of Sierra Leone don't spend on parliament, direct payment to MPs na 19 billion. So when are members of parliament there, direct, including Honorable Tawa Conte, every month, government they give them fuel for their motor car when at 1.9 million per MP. Every quarter they give them 18 million, where them for use for council when I make meetings, where most of them not they use, including Honorable Tawa Conte. Members of parliament, every quarter they are having monies we're supposed for Cantona. And out of the 25 billion, which are they saying at 20 billion, we not even know the figures, 19 billion of that now direct payment to members of parliament. In all kind of parliament in hand, it go directly to them. But then go charge them on parliament because the all man, when they say parliament, now both administration and members of parliament. So parliament, we have received so far this year 6 billion. Out of that 6 billion, we have used close to 60% of that on statutory travels. And comfortable, you know they carry money to them. Honorable Tawa Conte, Parliament gave you 70 million leos for Bill Constituency Office. Where is that office? I don't want to talk.
Okay, Honorable,
because if I talk, then we'll chase you with cutlass. I don't want to talk.
Will they continue with the
Trust
program?
I'm telling you, me mother, the fact themselves. Some people, when they see the type of people where they represent me, to the point now they say they cannot publicly. It's happening. You know, when they can joke with the Constitution, when they can swear and joke with that Quran or that Bible, you know, say we're parliamentarian just for going inside parliament, you need for take oath. That Quran, that Bible, like if it's a joke, I believe so they swear and they oath and they're affecting them. Now they can publicly, you know, naked themselves. They're so wicked to the point that even the place where they call parliament, it's still distinct. Listen first. Listen.
Let me give you another gist, Khadija. The Ministry of Finance don't disburse 11.5 billion for parliamentary activities. And the total disbursement of Ministry of Finance on this to Parliament about 20.9 billion. So there's not only about 5 committees don't go on oversight. Parliament, they spend a whopping amount on water where the parliamentary toilet, they all distinct. You know, to see criticize the parliament every day. The seasonal parliament toilet them. So for me, asking for accountability.
So, now what's now you take? Now this is not a APC MP anymore. These are SLPP MPs. That's a now they come. Paran, when are the clerk of parliament versus Honorable Tawa. First, while we bring this, not only the main thing one can talk about. For now, we just bring people historically the gravity of corruption at the country where they come up from parliament. What's now you take when it comes to this seriousness issue?
Well, you know the funny thing, of course, and I think a few months back we all see the back and forth between Paran and Honorable Tawa na national media. But just recently, is it 1 month or so ago, where anti-corruption then alleged say they don't do some form of investigation, you understand, into parliamentary activities and funds, and just make some recommendation. We've been really like for see anti-corruption come, or even parliament itself, and bet people and we misuse funds the way they give them. But wait till we hear the excuse with parliament give. So if funny as parents don't always there as a clerk, accuse other people, and then them as an institution come out and say there no be no say them for the return. You understand? And be it receipt or whatever of how they spend them and parliamentary development or whatever funds they give it. So it's very funny, you understand? For let you the very one sit down and pull so parliament secrets like that, then as a clerk of parliament one no say involved in the response with and give to anti-corruption, and the public notices them and make that kind of excuses. Well, we don't know. But how we be not saying company now they embezzle the 18 million or so where they give them tally. So it's high time them are, even as an institution, able for educate them constituency them. Why make them they give them money then they? Because to be honest, parliament work not to for bring like direct development. That are the work of the central government. Then they for facilitate and give checks and balances. But we still want to see accountability of them funds than the way they receive. Now for waiting, we want to see the amount of meeting the way they keep now in constituencies them for engaging constituencies them. We want to see who that bill office or who that they pay salary for your office. You understand? Who that they pay staffs for your offices. Then at that day we know say them money then they for if you get staff, assistants the way they help you do research and collaborate with you constituency. We want to see. So it's high time then check themselves or anti-corruption check them, but unfortunately it seems like all the institutions they know they function well.
All right, now one of the funny parts again while watch out. All right, again the same Honorable Tawa Conte, we of recent time we pay respect to her, because at least if na opposition leader, if na opposition parliamentarian they talk, you go say na opposition. But this is a member of the SLPP, a strong member. They come out categorically, they point out some of the flaws there. Now that make when they get ineffective government, when they get bad governance, because the government and the parliament, they're not accomplice. Then they aid and abet corruption. So tell me, what is them able to tell? How them will able all the executive arm of government where they said they pan corruption? Tell me about. They're not able, they're not getting moral grounds for holding. Now, look, some of the other highlights from Honorable Tawa Sefsem, where they categorically exposed Parliament. Before we come to the last FET, the FET we're taking at Parliament, the issues that were connected, now the last two they talk about. So let me just bring on Honorable Tawa again.
Said in all of their analysis, starting from constituency development fund, to parliamentary oversight, to procurement, to leadership interest, to general interest, they said clearly that yes, there are anomalies, there are systemic failures, and the word corruption, it cannot be corrupt if the system is working. It cannot be corrupt if they are procedural, you follow the procedures and you abide to the law, or abide with the law and processes that guide a particular activity. But in this instance, the ACC was clear that, Parliament did not follow procedures. Parliament flouted Section 37 of the Public Procurement Act. Parliament flouted Section 44 of the Public Procurement Act. Parliament received full interest in fact, Parliament received in excess of the interest of the allocated budget to Parliament for 2019. The allocated budget was 24 billion, 24 point something billion. When we come to the figures, I will give you the figure.
Right.
The figure for 2019, for 2018, was 23 billion. According to the ACC audit, that was 526 million less of meeting the full 100% of the budget allocation for 2018. And of all the functions that Parliament performs, there is none that is more important. Like I was told in reading The African Child, he said, of all the work my father did, he said, none fascinated me so much like the smelting of gold. of all the work that Parliament did, of all the work that Parliament is meant to do, there is none that is more sacred and more important than parliamentary oversight. If you go to the parliamentary budget, you look at the estimates, you will realize that of all the lines, it is oversight that has the highest number of lines and sublines. You would have taken Parliament to the people, scrutinizing MDAs, monitoring budget execution, a whole lot of lines with monies allocated for it.
Right.
But the SEC was bold enough to come out and say, okay, in all of these lines, yes, the Ministry of Finance allocated full amount to Parliament, but there is no specific allocation for oversight activity. What are you saying? The Constitution says in Section 93 that Parliament has an oversight function. 3 functions to be performed by Parliaments: oversight, lawmaking, and representation. And of these 3, oversight is interrelated to the other 2. If you don't perform effective oversight, you cannot make a good loss. In fact, I cannot remember the exact section, whether it's subsection 6 of 93, that says that the work of an oversight committee should inform legislation. That is to say, the work of oversight is speaking directly.
Okay, Fambule, this is just a gist of the previous saga will take place. What now you take when it comes to the massive analysis here, where parents still just they point out for me? You know, like what I can say, any size is smoke, or people can say any size is smoke. If you check the what's go meet the now fire. And all look you for don't look you bucket woods. Now today we they see with parliamentarian and they come live on here, the facts. But they're not just got perfect, so they're fat because of all them bad things will be happen, where people are set more or within themselves go not they put. But now the age of technology, now they keep evidence. Imagine this now like 1-2 months ago, a few months ago, we still have the record there. They keep them for future at least. These are the time when they hold them. That is why now they put more pressure, okay, by telling them that look, those days are gone where people go just do anything you want for do. Now, what should I take? Now, money not in a salon, according to the central government, according to the president, according to the money not in. But where is this money coming from? These monies that the people are talking about, billions. Take with Ruba, you know, if it's ironical, there's no money, but Honorable Tower say Parliament is still impressed of excess. Imagine XX. What do you take on this? Money not there, but then there is excess.
Well, that na the sad part we done there for almost 60 years in less than a week or so. Now the sad part where we always done there, money not there. We depend only on donor funds, but when the audit reports they come out year in year out, you hear billions of loans them we been accounted for. And like Tawa, and we say a big kudos to them because it takes a lot for see somebody for putting self and in career at the line, especially when in party they in power, and not even a constituency inside Freetown way na a passive stronghold for the opposition, even. But he risk all that and come out and make the people then see waiting they go on. We can only wish other people in safe way get similar art for the country, good art for the country, then come out and try for quench them fears them way then go get say the parties or the government or what have you go come strong against them. Many people in there, and this not the age of social media will go always advocate and talk for una and defend una. And so as you say, it's just ironical for still say billions they lost, parliaments they get excess money. But we struggle for get clean drinking water, you know, for get better tools or something. Now we hospital them, and you know, it's just crazy. This not the greed way they happen, you know, not the greed way they happen. And until we as Sierra Leoneans we pull away this party business and tribal or regional thinking within we and try for look people waiting and don't do people and record, you understand, and vet them very well before we vote for them. Then I believe say now the time then we get change, because it seems like anytime we election go down the near you go get politicians them go give big promise them make manifesto, but at the same time don't depend for 60 years. So it's high time if the politicians they no want change, make we self as a citizen, we change we mentality, because now the only way them people here go be serious. You understand? Because the institutions then they fail. If anti-corruption they work very well, all Lentiawe, Paran and Tawabi don't go back and forth to don't see the numbers people, but we just see whitewash reports come out, and it's sickening and it's sad. But if now one teacher and me know they support teacher or police for do corruption, but sometimes for they behind bars now they go courts, they languish somewhere, because I mean for in 500,000 sometimes we don't thief. Of course, then they also equally wrong. But because another in position of power and influence, it go languish in a jail, while people away they misuse something and go just carry it 1 or 2 lines for whitewash and defend them. But I believe say this now the age of technology, we go continue for expose, be it parliamentarians, be it central governors, be it city council of whatever party, we go continue for make sure say we bring light and information to we people.
All right, thank you. Family, this program, now you program, and also one for remind you that say this program you they also watch on live now YouTube, now TPP Leone. And we continue the second part of the program about the thing where we all be see was shock. Yeah, amaze people in far and wide at home and abroad. The day brought gangsterism in parliament. Now, first, let me just remind people what happened. The government of President Julius Maada Bio then gets a bill where contains census materials where them being present. The government, through the president, will get the power for summon parliament. Parliament is on recess right now, called emergency parliament meeting for let me table this bill. But within the same bill, then get other things with them put inside the bill. You see corruption inside corruption. The parliament itself, they try for even scam. I go put on some scam the people there. Why not they hide the cyber crime bill? Why not they hide them? Why not they hide them for pass as law? Why not they hide them? This is not the point. Why? Why, for God's sake? If not good thing for the salon people, you understand? If it's good for salon people, and there's no need. With a supporter, with a jubilate, with a press, with a make attention. There's no need. If people are not there, you know, it's not about you having good laws that you'll have a good society. What you need good people to make good society. You can have all the beautiful laws in the world. If the people are not beautiful, the people are not good, they are not law-abiding, they are not honest, the reverse will take place. So instead of the government focus on bringing beautiful laws purportedly to support or protect national interest, I think the government should focus on doing the right thing. Now, this bill now about census. The census where they call midterm census. But in a census basically government conduct for you get a whole range of benefits. For example, government will check how much people then at the country, at the different region, then the constituency, if they get job or if they don't get job, if they get hospital, if they don't get hospital, many things. And all of this information government need for plan for the country and development one. But the question we go and ask yourself, Salon say we not get money. The government say we not get money. President Bio say we not get money. Why would they rush power for make census where it costs millions, $6 million or more? Can you imagine? So I'm not against the counting of census. It's okay because when you get the data then the information, you go translate and you go able to do something better. Okay, you go distribute the national cake equitably. But what's how we get money? Now we say, for example, we find a diamond where worth trillions of dollars. Okay, that one day now a genuine concern for my government rush and make census because there is already money for spend for give, but there's no money. This is the census of the money, something alone the European Union give it. Why would they go take loan for count where we don't get even money for do anything, if not a political undertone the inside? Now that make people believe, say, oh, this not genuine. Not genuine, absolutely, because it get political undertone. Why government want to do this? Why the SLPP want to do this? For increase their representation, not them political strong goal when it comes. Because, it's so pathetic. Now, Doc, what you want to talk about when it comes to this cunning trick of the government trying to force a census bill? And not just call the census bill, they hide under the bill the cybercrime bill where people are still a debate on. What now you take when it comes to then kind cunning way of really doing things?
Well, you say one thing as you talk what Pico, you just say if something the way not for hide, the way not for good of the citizens, then there is no need for hide them or for put them within something and bring them come in secrecy. But I just want to make some broad points where where I want to allude to some of your points where you already don't say we not get money obviously as a country, and for the next census that often we last census 2015. I think now every 10 years we ought for the get census, at least we go on plan well and source resources well. But also I recognize also within the same constitution the president gets some leverage for call census. Nobody for doubts now one day. But the big question where a lot of people they ask, do we need them now? You understand? Do we need them now and midterm census if not for development purposes where this particular government want to do? I mean, from now to the the census go down somewhere next year, I believe we will get able to fine-tune all the details and results. Before you think, then election terms don't come again. So at which midterm development plan where they want to do when you are not guaranteed for win elections in the next election here 2023 and even 2022 local councils election. So maybe by the time they done the census local councils election first done the come day. So no doubt about the legality if the president want come with something, but everybody, every citizen is right for they in favor or for they against. I mean now a democracy. We can only hope we politicians then try for put the country at first. Look at these millions of resources will they use. If even a donor they give them money out, we might as easily throw this money into some other things. But with always with we politicians, them is always about scoring political points and gaining advantage. No doubt. The last government self go don't play some things and then self gain advantage. Certain people argue about that. The constituency, I mean the new district where then self bring, although then give them reasons them where then self bring in. So it's obvious, it's clear. No, no Ben say this government gets some form of undertone, political undertone of why they want to bring the census. But again, if the president gets the leverage, let table on a parliament, and we expect we parliamentarians them across all parties for debate them, challenge themselves legally and give points and vote on them rather than the kickboxing where we see up in a parliament. It's unfortunate. We all see it's shameful because the bill, just quickly, the bill, firstly, whether opposition then support them or not support them, we always they advocate for due processes and consultations. We can disagree for agree. You understand? Need not there for bulldoze you way or for do whatever something in secrecy. Always engage, because governance is not only about a one particular party. Always with them for try for engage in a parliament and cooperate, then they can vote. Who get the numbers at the end of the day win. But again, we see the kickboxing because all them political party if you remember what I said earlier, it's either for the selfish interest as an individual parliamentarian or for them party interest waiting the benefits them party. Now I make you see all them challenges then they then fed kickboxing. Because I believe say if na something way for better with the Sierra Leonean people, then for us you don't have full incorporate.
Yeah. So Famula, this now just the sad thing when they take place in our country alone. You know, like governments, they work like a secret society now. Where enough for be so. Will one feel say the government for be transparent, especially when it comes to issues of national development. I don't see the logic and able to get up till now. Why still the government they force people and say there should be, there must be. In fact, it don't come to a point now, it don't even threaten the security of the state. In other words, like there is unease going on. And it's not to the first time this where the government, the parliament, the speaker, then they force their way out. We know what happened back then when for elect the speaker, where the All People's Congress then walk out. Well, at the end of the day, then walk out no mean nothing. They end up for lose some of the parliamentarians, and they not just lose them, they even give them to people away. They're not even elect, where then again against the law, because we get procedures. If a seat is vacant, what do we need for do? Therefore, announce by election. But we see say like the SLPP parliamentarians and quickly rush and say and disqualify those other parliamentarians based on their own quack law with their side, and then quickly bring down their own people and get it for them at least and get upper hand. This is not how a country should be ruled, because at the end of the day, it gets some very difficult interpretation, because governments not continuity. When governments come out, another one they can inside. And if we continue for revenge, for take revenge, and this is exactly the pattern where I see Sierra Leone politicians in general, then they move on. If anyone will come, if they try for kind of revenge, waiting and be done doing 6 years or 10 years where we don't there on a position. It not work so. Come on. This is not about you and me. This is about people and future a country. Look, the other day, the president within 98.1, then they asked a question if you and the ex-president, President Bio, and they answer if he and the former president, Ernest Bio, then they see eye to eye, or it make it clear, say, we are not friends, and we will never be friends. You know, even when asked maybe they say, okay, what about for the sake of the country? You know, I feel so as a statesman, as a head of state, a president, at least, even if you get a grudge against somebody, when it's reached to national, because people know they listen to you, there are people that will believe you thickly, then they take you word hook, line, and sinker, they sink within themselves. At least, if you're politically correct, you say, oh, me, anything where for push the country, you get to where they beautify words for at the end of the day for the country in general aspects. But the family, the thing actually will be happen when we result to the fact. I not say what we don't do. I not say what therefore happen back where this bill get for coming up, where this bill get for pass through. I know, and another war get for counts. Another war inside the same parliamentary, and go for bring out that nonsense for themselves. But look to the procedures will lead to even the facts. Listen to the minority leader Charuna Ba, what he presents.
Mr. Speaker, proviso to SO4B 1 and SO18 1. They don't purportedly lay on the table certain instruments, but when all along see say, and the pictures, the videos, and the cameras will show say nothing has been laid on the table because there are procedures. The mess not been at the table, so we don't know who's part at the table and lay them. As we speak, they not lay any document at the table yet. But coming to the issue we challenge this morning, and we will continue for challenge until they correct them. Parliament is a house of laws and procedure. Now the Constitution established Parliament. Parliament not established itself. So when they do the Constitution, they get different areas of the Constitution. If you can see, we get laws where they deal with forestry, where they deal with PPRC, where they deal with NEC, they all get individual legislations. The constitution, not just the broad outline that they did. Any outfit where they create, then they get the little details. So the area we cover parliament, now the standing orders, now the laws, where they guide the regulations and operations of parliament. And one of the things I want to remind the speaker about today, SO43, there is a proviso to the SOD. We make it very, very clear. Nobody not say the president not get power under 86(1) for call parliament when he wish. Nobody not say that. But two problems. One, the SO very specific. So when the president call the speaker, say he wants an emergency sitting, then definitely the next thing will happen, the speaker for call the majority and minority leaders, the parliament, together with the clerk, and get consultations. As I talk publicly today, that not be happen. Now social media will begin hearing and see things. Up to this point where they talk to us, so with all the illegalities we don't compound themselves, up to this point, nobody not consult me, and I'm sure some of my colleagues themselves, but they will talk for themselves. But most importantly, apart from SO43, plenty other provisions in there are standing orders, and the constitution where they don't breach. We not say parliament in session until May. We just be there on recess. So if the president they call an emergency sitting now, while session they on, the only thing what you go do through that proclamation there, that the only item for that other paper. When I see there's a minister of trade, the paper, then they get bill where they don't cancel cyber bill. So not all the reason where the president say parliament proceeds for the first weekend and all the procedures where SO18 say you can follow in cases of statutory instruments, orders, rules and regulations have not been followed. So the other paper wrong, they not consult, and they not do what they're supposed to do before they come.
So, so what did I take when the Honorable Chauno by the minority leader, they say they're not even consultant. According to in order against the law, we give the president power for call emergency parliament for summon parliament. But they're not even consultant, according to that. What do you take?
Well, I mean, this not the problem. One of the problems they will get now this country, this winners take all mentality, in which you feel say if now you get a central government, they rule the central government, or now you get a majority in parliament or get speaker. You understand? SLPP, we are not stupid enough when they go all out and broad daylight and commit fraud. Let's be we didn't get a speakership and with the help of the judiciary, because even though we then do the injunction, then we know say courts not get right for come and put another person who lost election. IS now for call a by-election, a real election, or what have you. So they're not be stupid enough where they go all out and damn the constitution for get a speaker because of waiting of this winners take all mentality. Where if Nami get the majority, they bulldoze me way. And that section they very clear where it talks about consultations. Now the how you call them? Now the standing orders of parliament. You understand? The president gets the right, according to the constitution, for summon an emergency meeting, but parliament get their own procedures. Them in this case, the standing orders. And through this way then get for consult other minority leaders. Then we get like how much 4 different parties in a parliament where you go get 3 different minority leaders them with APC as the main minority party. You even get independent candidates them not the well of parliament. So you go expect say perhaps Bundu with a wealth of experience in the workforce where you don't get the work for I think ECOWAS and all. You don't parliament before you go feel say I mean then kind enough for the happen under in stewardship, irrespective of the way it did the way can they through some form of bulldozing, but you go expect at least we don't come and sit down, it go bring some form of normalcy in the well of parliament. I mean again it's bad, and we can only hope say we get political parties them and leaders them na them party away go be magnanimous enough we go put country first and not come back for repeat the same cycle of revenge and winners take all. We go look say, bo, what's important are the people of Sierra Leone. With the cow its bill, where the benefits the people of Sierra Leone. With the consult with the minorities them for the good of Sierra Leone. Let everybody having say, then consult, table the thing now in the parliament, and then who have the numbers vote, who have the numbers will win. But it's high time we stop this by force business, because it only lead to waiting, threat and instability and chaos in the country.
Yeah, like just like we see so, you know, like when it's too much of one thing is good for nothing. Yeah,
exactly.
You know, I don't do so many things. SLPP don't do so many things and get away with that. We are not here to defend APC, NGC, or whatever. We are just stating the facts. A spade is a spade. Call it like it. The Honorable Speaker gets in your parts. We defend the action, wouldn't it? Lord, listener.
That particular provision is inapplicable in this particular instance. For the reason that we have before the House a proclamation made by Mr. President pursuant to the provisions of the Constitution, particularly Section 86(1), which empowers the President to summon a meeting of Parliament at any time. That, I'm afraid, supersedes the provision to which reference has just been.
All right, this is how we politicians are smart. When they want something for themselves, then they defend all the loophole there within and outside, wherever, even for go outsource, even from upspace. Then they go borrow even from another planet, another solar system, for bringing kind of our solar system out na our planet, out na our country for learn no more it suits them comfort. I mean, you know, this is bad, because if you already try for interpret the Constitution for let it favor you when other people they bring some facts, and it's not a disgrace. This is not a disgrace. Now, forget about what even we're there again, because we're not in a parliament, but we observe and see. We just told the lines of even the parliamentarians, they're young in point there. Now, within themselves, and they fed so. Now, listen to Yumkela, Honorable Yumkela, what you got for say about waiting be happen.
This same parliament passed the state of emergency law, and then promised we say they will bring regulations within 2 weeks. Regulations not until after 1 month, I mean after almost 1 year before the regulations then come, where the state of emergency they expire. That context important why the opposition suspicious of waiting they go on. So any violation of process or procedure, the way the leader of the opposition don't state matter. The standing order very clear. Standing order 43B, 43A. In the case of any emergency of which notice is given to Mr. Speaker by the President, a meeting may be summoned on such notice as Mr. Speaker may determine in consultation with the majority and minority party leaders of the House. Very clear. We're not getting no notice. That's what we see on our social media. No consultation. This na bulldozing of processes is not correct. This not for today. In the future, all them violations here, somebody they do them. Another leader they can one day, they make state of emergency. They not bring regulation. You see, waiting to them, they not do them before. Same thing with this. Another leader go after 1 year, he say, I want to do census. Damn the process. Now the opposition remind government say, you know they do census without parliament. Remember the census was announced in July, not so. How many months this? Not almost 10. Why it happened? Because the opposition raised alarm, say, hey, una don't violate procedure. If you don't violate procedure 10 months, the best you can do is to consult. But the speaker they at fault also. if the leader of the opposition don't raise procedural matter, not try for bulldoze, because you know the context. Call the leadership out, stand parliament down, and that's what we used to do to resolve issues. But if you get that attitude, say everything for bulldoze, people for just comply, it is wrong. It is not for today. Every bad precedent will be used in the future by a bad leader. This was wrong. Second, even with all this done be, how can you deny the opposition the mic to speak? How can you do that? Honestly, and not also. How can you deny the leader of the opposition? Miss have been the wait for take the floor. How can you do that? Is this a democracy? This is why they say the democracy is a threat. Really now, you're forcing through a census. This same census, where the previous one, some of you will be raised concerned then give we full assurance the consultant the way all can 2015 say it was legit. This is how it was done. When you begin to force things through parliament and not to one, it accumulates, it causes tension unnecessarily.
Yeah, so family, I don't see the context at which all of these things burn. You know, even the parliamentarians said, they're not even respect law. Can you imagine it? This is so funny. These are the people what we tax for make them make laws and for we. And on make law them for we, on make laws they will not want. If we not make law, no they respect law. According to themselves, the parliamentarian, now that make what we this platform, would they always bring evidence? We not just we can't talk because we feel for talk. No, would they count no for no fact? They will not be the judge. Can you imagine? The president, they rule by like a decree. You pass a state of emergency. You know, do procedural arrangements then for come up with some sort of for fortify and legalize the proclamation of 1 year state of emergency. Then bulldoze aside it. And look at what we understand again. The guys, we are not even invited. They were not even officially informed. They had it on social media. What did I take, Doc, before we wrap up?
Yeah, I think I be already don't allude to within KKY they say there must be consultations, and this winners take all mentality or revenge mentality get for stop, because I remember that the way the thing they go on live with the watch them on AYV and SLBC. There was a time when Paran, the clerk of parliament, to tell Cherno, you know, the minority leader say, you've been bad passo. Cherno, you've been bad passo. I was like, what do you understand? I mean, you understand that even, I mean, come on, it's sad for Sierra Leone. It's sad. No matter which kind bad way passive say Cherno be don't do, or allege say Cherno be don't do. We vote for new direction. We expect new change in all facets of the governance system, be it the judiciary, the executive, or the parliament. But in other words, in broad daylight, na national TV, they tell we say, if we don't do bad, we say now we turn for do bad. I mean, it's sad. I recognize say for not to always majority and minority party them they see eye to eye in a parliament. There will be tensions, there will be fracas. Ten go carry they all go agree on something. Ten go carry they not when they go disagree. But let it be in a civilized manner. You consult, you cooperate, follow due procedures, the standing orders, and the constitution. When you follow all them things, then you can layer now. Then it's up to parliamentarian their own conscience and who get the required number for pass certain things, but not this way of bulldozing. It's got to stop. This way of bulldozing, and bulldozing they only lead to one thing. We see what it lead to now rancor and fracas. We and other people and go say we not get any other remedy, pass we safe cause rancor and fracas, and it's not good for our democracy. We already presently in fragile and polarized community. We always see them. Just more 98.1 or AYV in the morning, watch the comment section them and see the hatred and vitriol where we get for one another just because of party business. So we expect, say, we political leaders them go be on national television and preach peace and preach cooperation, not that kickboxing the way then they power. We hope, say, all the misstep them way don't happen in the parliament of recent times, then go turn a new page, forget about them, and come back to the people them in a civilized manner.
All right. Thank you very much. So, Fambulen, this is left to you now for let yourself process this information and judge and know whether they are at fault, whether they are right. But again, this is not about wrong or right. This is not about not to contest this. This is about national issue. We they look at the broader picture, We they even try for apologize to we small one there because we feel so we owe them an apology because imagine person the young one that they come 12 years, 13 years, 14 years, 15 years, and they watch them tear. I mean, it absorb. These are the process. Then they're on the process and building their mental capacity. These are the process where and the engineering aspect they take place. So if the small picking and they see, just like a family, if I see me papa or me mama in the fet na house every day they fet or every month, myself why married at the fet because as I say, well, me mama they fet me papa or me papa they fet me mama. So this is not part of the team where normal. I picking the absorb what you see. So this is disgraceful, it's shameful, and I'm glad because the honorable speaker pull a press release and apologize to the people there. But the reason why I'm not bringing a blame, this is not about time of blaming the opposition. It's journey. If you apologize sincerely, that I make another plan here. If you just apologize, say we are all guilty, you understand, then it's fine. But no can apologize and you find somebody for the blame. Now they just not to apology now they cynical way of doing things. So Fambulen, this Nasalo, this like the talk will be the go around. This is Sierra Leone. These are the kind of people that we'll be voting for. It's too much. So we just call on the president, the census would from both sides. I feel say if not for Salon people, they not need that. They need bread and butter. People want it. Water not they like not they would not they. Medicine not in hospital. 6 million, 7 million for the census. Una channel on the other side. Do ya? Una listen to the people at least for once. For once, if you guys care for the people, if you care, if you really, really represent the people, this is the time you have to listen to the people. Give the bread and butter. The bread and butter you promise people. Give them common basic necessities so that the people in Webon understand, say, yes, okay, we vote for change and this change is making something better for us. So you got anything for her before we say goodbye now?
Yeah, I would just say, as Sierra Leoneans, they make we stay calm, put country first, be patriotic, and may we avoid violence. Be it because of political reasons or tribal reasons in EP, nor allow waiting politicians they sit on a radio or TV they talk. You follow, always think for yourself, waiting good for you. All the laws, the census, then they're out there. Try forget a copy, read for yourself, educate yourself. Because I always repeat now, that's not the only way we go get with politicians them for do better thing, or we get good people them for being in position of power, where we force good for happen. But no, not just sit down and listen whatever politicians and the kind of radio or TV they talk, we just buy that and they talk bad, they curse and be violent. Put country first, stay safe out there, COVID is real. And be positive, We come 60 years of independence already. Hopefully, we'll come with a show on we independent. For we independent, 60 years already. See the states where we in. Let we make sure say we contribute to the next 60 years to be a prosperous one.
Thank you very much. So we don't get the message, we'll not go past the normal time we schedule. We will come very early again with another program, probably tomorrow. Another very interesting program will come. Now, goodbye.